Hi, Art Seekers. We have a very special guest today. I'm really thrilled to get to talk to you, Diaz. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So first and foremost, how did you get involved in graffiti writing?
I was 12 years old, and there wasn't. I grew up here in the Lower East Side. There wasn't any real graffiti, like subway style graffiti, that had yet emerged from the Lower East Side, and I was kind of privy to this street culture that was developing, that wasn't happening in my neighborhood. So I kind of imported it to the Lower East Side, and just kept, developing just along with the culture. It was all about getting your name around. There was no art, there was no philosophy. It was purely male energy driven. You want to be well known. It was more of a sport. Not quite a sport, but it was seeking adventure. We were on a mission kind of thing. Yeah.
What was the most adventurous thing you did?
Well, going in subway tunnels and stepping up on the third rail to get up higher so that you could paint a little more on the train. It's kind of adventurous without killing yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, and going inside the trains while they're parked. And that was a great adventure for teenagers. Sneaking into the station, into the layup tracks, yards, etc. That was fun. It was fun. It was dangerous as well, which made it fun. Yeah.
How did you hook up with Basquiat?
He wasn't a graffiti artist, but he wasn't adjusting well to the high school that he had previously gone to. So we both ended up as transfers at an alternative high school, a city out of school, and that's how we met.
How did you conceptualize Samo together?
It was a word that we threw around a lot for various reasons, and it morphed into a variety of things, and eventually it became this kind of pseudo-religious concept that we played with and it was a joke. It was not that we could articulate it at the time, but it was kind of an exercise in hype. See how you just come up with some kind of vague thing and see if people would get sucked into it. If you just use it and the way we used it, and at one point we decided it would be a great idea to write this as a graffiti, and to spread it around. Within a year and a half, the Village Voice did an interview on it. We had become kind of these kind of like micro celebrities with the graffiti concept, which, considering our age, I guess was kind of sophisticated for two teenage kids. So.
Well, I think you reflected a lot of the energies of the time and just what people were struggling with, and in a subversive, clever, and accessible way.
It was definitely subversive. There was, I don't think it was very sympathetic, but it was poking fun and stuff. We had times when we weren't very friendly. We kind of hated each other, and that goes with territory.
And did that kind of anarchy register in the works when you guys were just?
Yeah. He was writing Samo Was Dead, and then he wrote a couple of things like Al Diaz is a melon, like a melon head. Well, in our language, that meant that you were kind of like some pedestrian kind of not very enlightened human being. So because he was really pissed at me.
And of your Samo tags, which ones are you proudest of?
The one I like, the one that I like the best, that I'll still write is Samo as an end to mass-produced individuality. I like that. It still resonates, and it's still relevant. It was about how a hipness, in every generation, develops a uniform, and then that becomes everyone's hip. So, all you gotta do is wear that uniform, and you look cool. Right?
And kind of ironic, because that's what happened with Basquiat.
I guess he did become a lot of things that he may have put down to some degree. I guess that was kind of why he was so miserable. Early on in the game, I guess it was by the age of 16, so 4 or 5 years into writing graffiti, I felt like, oh man, everybody's writing graffiti, and it just wasn't really. I stopped. I didn't want to hang out with just graffiti art. You know, I felt like I had to move on. I had to grow up a little. It was kind of like the boys' club forever. And Samo was like, it was perfect because now we're expressing ourselves. Now we're saying something. Now we're like angry young teenagers, and we're going to go out there and actually say something. Mm-hmm. So it was a quantum leap in terms of intellectual stimulation or feeling like you're contributing, doing something. It was of substance. It was no longer just I'm scratching my name. Who gives a shit? There's 10 million other dudes writing their name. Right? So that was a huge step. So what I'm doing now is still text oriented. It's influenced by Samo or a continuation of Samo rather. It's social commentary, observations, etc. Except that in this case I'm using a constrained alphabet. So that's what makes it for me art, because I'm dealing with it's a conceptual thing. I'm dealing with a constrained alphabet. I don't have certain letters. So in order for me to say something, okay, fecal matter slams into an electric fan. The shit hits the fan. I can't say the shit because I don't have an H. So, or the shit. So I don't have an H, so I can't do it. So what it does is it really stimulates my language, the language part of my brain. With
these pieces, the fact that you take the material originally from the subway and then reimagine it and then place it back in a subway setting, I think is quite insightful, because you're really giving it back. You're just altering it. And
absolutely.
What is the legacy of Samo, personally or professionally?
It's become this cultural icon, and it's very it's deeply gratifying to know that was your creation.